The thing we have all been waiting for is finally official as the Giants go in a completely different direction in terms of who they want running this ball club. It has finally happened. We've been waiting for days. It is out with the old and in with the new in terms of the manager of the San Francisco Giants. And we're going to be breaking down the official news that the Giants and Tony Vitello have agreed to become the next manager here on SF Giants. Make sure to go down below and hit subscribe as we're going to be breaking down all breaking news this offseason, all the trades, all the signings, all the acquisitions we will have here on SF Giants. So make sure to subscribe below. But now it is official. We have gotten word from Pete Thamel, from Jeff Passan, from John Heyman, all of the big names in baseball reporting. It has become official. Tennessee baseball coach Tony Vitello is finalizing a deal to become the next manager of the San Francisco Giants. Sources tell me and Jeff Passan, Vitello, 47, will be the first ever to jump from college coach to MLB manager without any professional experience. Buster Posey gets his guy. It has been a long time. We've been waiting weeks for this. There's a little bit of a dry period in the middle, in between Bob Melvin getting let go and some initial rumblings. But now the Giants officially have their next skipper, the guy who will be at the top step of their dugout when the 2026 season begins. Now, there's a lot more information to come out. We're going to see, how many years has he gotten on his contract? What are the Giants paying him? Which I would assume is, at least 5, 6, 7 million, something around there. There's a lot of information that we are going to learn in the next couple of hours, the next couple of days. We'll see when the press conference is going to be, what Tony Vitello has to say himself. But it is finally official. The Giants have gotten their guy. And give myself a little pat on the back. When the Giants first let go of Bob Melvin and Andrew Bagley reported that Tony Vitello would be an interesting candidate, right away I said, this is the guy. This is the guy that Buster Posey needs to go after and make the next manager of the Giants. It is such a good decision. It's a good risk. It's a high risk, high reward choice. If it doesn't work out, then yeah, that's bad. But I do see this working out because of how well he has run the Tennessee baseball program. He knows how to win. He has a very good track record of leading the Tennessee Volunteers to the College World Series, winning that national championship. He just simply knows how to win. His dad was a coach. It's in his blood. He went directly from playing in college to coaching. So this is something I'm sure he's wanted to do for, his entire career of coaching. So the Giants make it official. He has agreed upon, and we will be waiting in a couple hours for more news. But right now, we have a couple of initial reports from Andrew Bagley, The Athletic, Ken Rosenthal, to kind of dig into. This is from Andrew Bagley, his report about the official signing. This says, the San Francisco Giants are preparing to announce that University of Tennessee coach Tony Vitello has been hired as the 40th manager in franchise history. He is unlike all 39 of his predecessors. Vitello, 47, is making the nearly unprecedented jump from a college campus to a major league dugout. He has no professional experience as a player. He'll have to adjust to brand new challenges. And that's something we need to point out. A lot of people are thinking, hey, this is going to be good. He's going to come in and win baseball games right away. Which, if he has a good roster, then the players are going to carry him for a little bit of time. But we have no idea how he's going to manage a big league bullpen, how he's going to use challenges. The ABS is coming into play next year. There's a lot of different things that he's going to have to adjust upon in Major League Baseball. And possibly the biggest one is dealing with, grown men in the dugout. Usually he's dealing with, teenagers, young adults who are between 18 and 23 years old. But now he's going to have to deal with grown men who are making millions and millions of dollars, making much more money than him. So that'll be an interesting aspect of this whole decision. But he is a professional's professional. He knows what he's doing. I think this is the right choice, and it'll be a long offseason of waiting to see how he deals with all of this stuff in the 2026 season. Andrew Bagley also goes on to say, in September, it was notable that Posey made an unscheduled trip to join the Giants for a series at Coors Field, while Vitello happened to be there visiting 4 of his former players. If you missed it, Vitello hopped on Greg Olson's podcast this week and talked about, going to Coors to see Drew Gilbert play in a big league uniform. And he said he had a conversation with a GM. We can only kind of speculate that was Buster Posey or Zach Manassian, but I would assume it's Buster Posey. And this is what he had to say about it. He said, I think everyone is suffering the consequences all the way up to the big leagues where guys are super skilled, but there's less development, less coaching, less accountability, and therefore less understanding of how to actually play the game to win. It starts all the way trickle-down effect. this is a lot of what we've heard from Buster Posey in his mere year of being at the helm of the San Francisco Giants. Here he says, Posey has made many similar remarks since taking over as the Giants' top baseball official 12 months ago, extolling the value of players who develop the ability to compete along with physical skills like bat speed and spin rate. And I think this is a big deal. Obviously, kids are becoming elite baseball players young, but even when they get to the big leagues, they're not truly taught how to play the game. And we've seen this early in Buster Posey's tenure with, guys in the lower minors. They've been stealing bags a lot more. They've been bunting more. Just these little skills that guys are not taught early on. Tony Vitello and Buster Posey agree that that's something that needs to be focused on more in Major League Baseball because these young kids aren't being taught it in high school, in college, even in some cases lower pro ball. So you can see that Buster Posey and Tony Vitello agree on a lot of philosophies. Now we have to wait and see what the coaching staff looks like, who's going to round out his coaching staff. I'm almost positive that Posey's going to have a big say in that just because Tony Vitello has no experience in Major League Baseball and professional baseball. He's going to want to bring in guys with a lot more experience who can kind of help mediate that inexperience of Tony Vitello in professional baseball. They interviewed Vance Wilson with the Royals, who has a good track record with former players. Vinny Pasquantino says he liked playing for him. They also interviewed Brandon Hyde, who did good in Baltimore. He was kind of the scapegoat over there. He's kind of a mixture. He knows the analytical side of things because he was just in Baltimore, but he's also an older school manager who can go with the feel of the game as well. So those are two guys that I would definitely be looking at to see if Buster Posey brings them in as bench coaches, third base coach, things of that sort. But man, what an exciting time to be a Giants fan. If any of you are on Giants Twitter, it was real funny 2 or 3 days with the University of Tennessee fans making fake Giants accounts saying, "Oh, Buster Posey, what are you doing? We don't want Tony Vitello. We want a guy with experience." And just a lot of funny things going on Twitter during this wait that we had between the Giants supposedly closing in on hiring Vitello that we got on Saturday morning, and then now the decision is official. The Giants and Vitello are agreeing upon a deal that would make him the next manager of the San Francisco Giants. Like I said, I think this is the right call. If you want to compete with the Dodgers, the Braves, the Padres, the Phillies, these good teams in the National League, the Cubs, the Brewers, if you want to compete with teams like this and you can't sign, the Shohei Ohtanis, the Yoshinobu Yamamotos of the world, if you can't sign at the top of the free agent market, you need to think a little out of the box. You need to go in a different direction. And this is exactly what Posey's doing. We've seen throughout his tenure, that has only been a year so far, that he is not afraid to go for the big swing. He's not afraid to go for that big decision. With Willy Adames, he signed him right away. With Rafael Devers, trading for him so early in the year. And now we see him let go Bob Melvin, who he inherited. That's a big thing to point out. Buster Posey did not choose Bob Melvin and then fire him. He inherited Bob Melvin as the manager, and it didn't work out in year one for Buster Posey. So he said, I want to pick my guy, and he gets the guy he wanted in Tony Vitello. Initially, we all thought it'd be Nick Hundley, who was the early frontrunner for the job, but he withdrew because of family concerns, I believe. And now the Giants pivot and get their guy, Tony Vitello. He's the guy I've wanted since the very beginning. I think it is such a fun idea. I think he brings a lot of intensity. Obviously, we saw how Drew Gilbert plays the game, and I think you could say that Tony Vitello is almost the Drew Gilbert of managers. He brings a lot of fire, a lot of intensity. I'm sure that'll be kind of tapered down a little bit in the big leagues because college baseball is a different beast in terms of energy and intensity. But I love this hire. I think he can bring a lot out of guys that are on the Giants team currently. I think some of the personalities on the Giants roster will get along with the intensity that Vitello brings right away. I think this is a great hire. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this hire. Do you think it's a good one? Do you think it's a bad decision? Do you think the Giants should have gone with more experience? Do you like the risk that Posey is taking? Let me know down below what you think, and make sure to subscribe to SF Giants Digest to stay updated on all the breaking news this upcoming offseason. What an exciting time to be a Giants fan.